Woodward. We are starting off your day with a brand new crew. Meet Broder.
I can't control my arms sometimes. My limbs are just kind of flying.
Detroit Kool-Aid.
Fired up!
Y'all got Kool-Aid.
I'm fired up! But with the Wake Up Woodward crew, he's actually a part of the family.
Flannel Sam.
Ask me about my wiener!
Okay.
Along with JB and KG. Wake Up Woodward gets you all of your Detroit sports talk. Every morning, 8 to 10 a.m. Live on Woodward Sports. A show for Detroit, by Detroit, with people from Detroit. Tell Siri to set an alarm, because it's time to Wake Up Woodward.
What up, though, people? Welcome to Wake Up Woodward Chat family. Appreciate you guys for choosing to kick off your day with the WUW Crew. Let's go ahead and already start the day off right, and let's run up those likes. Man, it's a victory show of sorts for one of our teams, but for another, they did something that we haven't seen since the beginning of the season, but we'll get into it. It's your boy Brandon Den, aka Detroit Kool-Aid, your credential Pistons reporter and writer for the network. Hey man, for those playoff Pistons. And we also have our Red Wings correspondent, all sports knower, vet of the squad, vet of the network, Flannel Sam. What up, though, brother?
Mixed feelings today. Going to be a little bit of a therapy session at times. But one question that I want to get into to a preview for later is, what are you willing to do for Riley Greene? You know what I'm willing to do.
What can Greene do for you?
Yes, absolutely. But just to get into what we're talking about today, we've got some Flannel Sam's mock draft 2.0 is now out. Extra, read all about it. And I also have some fan submissions as well. A couple of submissions from the chat that we are going to dissect. We've got going to talk about Riley Greene's slump and also, but fortunately or unfortunately, I want to start with the Red Wings. Because, Chase, you actually opened my eyes to something more in our last Red Wings topic that I should have been more hip to. It almost it's starting to actually make me more mad that they're winning these games. I wanted them to get over that 79-point threshold, but you kind of mentioned something of like, okay, now that you're facing the Devils when they don't have Jesper Bratt or Luke Hughes or Timo Meier or Nico Hischier, now you can win. Now, Alex Lyon, you can be stout in net. Now, JT Compher, you can score a goal. It's like, it doesn't mean anything. They're done. They're cooked. It's been a disappointing year.
Yeah, I mean, how can you be excited about the win? It's like, yeah, you won 5-2, but like I said the other day, it's like, you were getting bullied all year. You waited for the bully to walk away, and now you're like acting all tough. Like, man, I was just about to kick his ass, man. It's like, no, you were just getting your butt. You get pushed around, getting your ass kicked, and if they come back again, they're gonna do the same thing.
Well, it's. You're right. I was being too soft on him for a while, and like I said, I can be happy with some things from last night. I'm happy to see Simon Edvinsson get a couple of assists. I want more offensive production from the defenseman position next year, and I think that the Red Wings are going to get it, and I think that Simon Edvinsson is going to be a big part of it. But there's just a lot last night that, do I really care that JT Compher got his 11th goal of the season and his 32nd point after last season having 48? Do I really care about Jonathan Berggren having 4 points in his last 2 games, where in his previous 74 he had a grand total of 20? Do I care about Alex Lyon having a good game in net with the Devils freshman team while having a save percentage under 900? No. Do I care about Dylan Larkin keeping his 30-goal streak alive while also having a disappointment and a dip in production? Not necessarily. It's just, I think that this is one of those teams that you can actually quantify as a soft and not tough team. When everything is right, like when they have a man advantage on the power play, oh yeah, they're big and bad. Lucas Raymond is one of the best players in hockey. Dylan Larkin's one of the best goal scorers in hockey. But when they're 5-on-5, they're basically the Chicago Blackhawks. And when they're on the PK, they are worse than every other team in the National Hockey League and historically bad. So, Chase, everything you said the other day when I was being a little bit too soft on them is 100% true. And I'm glad that you were feeling a little bit more passionate about it that day, because you brought me over to the dark side.
Welcome. I mean, it's not fun to be here. Obviously, we all want the Red Wings to be, in a much better position. But you have to call a spade a spade. If they're acting soft, then you got to call them soft. And that because that's not what this team is going to be if they're going to actually be contenders. It's not the team that Stevie Y is trying to build. The Yzer plan is definitely not a bunch of soft ass pussies skating around on that ice.
I guess the question though that I do have to ask is where do they go when they get that? Generally it's one part's culture, one part's your personnel, and that's where you do wonder this far into the Yzer plan, why don't we see this toughness as a part of their identity yet?
Well, I think it's more than just toughness. They're just not good enough right now. They absolutely 100,000 million trillion % need a better offseason. That does not need to be said. It's getting to the point where I'm begging for them to get a Perron-like player and a Gostisbehere-like player, players that we already had but lost. Need a better offseason, that's for sure. I'd like to see Lucas Raymond take a step. I'd like to see I've been hammering this for a long time, just a solid veteran who blocks shots, who throws his body around, who's technically sound, who you can maybe even put on the second or first line, insulate Mo Seider a little bit more, because I actually think Mo Seider's had a good year. It's just he doesn't have the best around him. You need a leap from Kasper, obviously, a leap from Johansson. I think a leap from Simon Edvinsson would be great. I think Elmer Soderblom playing a full season would actually probably help them with the toughness aspect, that's for sure, and just being a big body who's actually shown more of an offensive upside. There's a lot that needs to be done, and it could certainly happen. And I'd also, just another one, I'd like to see ASP up as well. And maybe he has a rookie season similar to what Lane Hudson had this year. Probably not, but he's certainly that archetype of a player.
What about you, Vasiechek? That toughness, because I know you stamped the Yzer plan as one that is built on or going to be built on toughness. Where do they go from here as it relates to the Yzer plan? Have you seen enough to this point, and do you trust and do you believe in Yzer plan to get this thing done to make sure you're never saying this team is soft?
Have we seen enough so far? I would say no. Otherwise we wouldn't be in this position. But what can they do something about it? Absolutely. I heard Neil and Sean talk about it. DMAC talk about it. From when Mike Babcock was the coach, and he talked about toughness being a choice, and the team bounced back the next year, and they played a lot tougher in 07, 08, and so I think it's a bit of an attitude change that some guys are going to have to have, and I think we're going to need to see some new leaders step up. I think, obviously Dylan Larkin wears the C, but I think we're going to have to see some people step up and be some bigger voices in that locker room and leaders on the ice, setting the tone for this team. Someone's got to go out and show that, this team isn't going to be bullied around. That doesn't mean going out and just getting in a fight every game or anything like that. We don't need someone to, try to be the next DMAC, but just someone to go out there like Brad Marchand, he's going out there and he's letting you know that you're not going to mess around with this team. When he was on the Bruins, for all those years, you need someone like that who's scrappy, who's got a bit of that rattiness to him, some grittiness. I would love a Tom Wilson type player on this Red Wings team. Another guy who, like I said, is tough. That if you hit the wrong guy on that team, you put your body, on one of the stars, you're going to have to answer for it. I don't think there's anyone who's, picking up the phone when another team starts ringing.
And I like that, man, because you say obviously there is still some work for Yzerman to do in terms of the player acquisition, but you also put some of the responsibility on the in-house culture and how the fact that just needs to change. It's been interesting based on how the season ended last year, with how we were saying, if Dylan Larkin was just there, this team is in the playoffs with that 7-game absence, versus this year to hear puck knowers like yourself, Chase, and Flannel Sam, realistically, hoping for a little bit more from Dylan Larkin after this season.
Yeah, and I actually want to respond to a couple things that Tammy Chin said in the chat, because I obviously respect her hockey acumen, but I think she's misrepresenting a couple of things that I said. First off, she goes, yes, we care about Larkin. I think he had a relatively disappointing season. Maybe you disagree. I think that he did. He's not a point-a-game guy. You needed him to be a point-a-game guy. I'm not saying that it's necessarily all his fault. There was a lot of line fluctuations at the top, but I need more from Dylan Larkin moving forward, even if he is in a role that he shouldn't be in. And then he also goes, yes, we care about Raymond having an amazing season. I could say on one hand, he's probably going to be exactly about a point a game. I like that. But 37 out of his 80 points are on the power play. By definition, he was literally a power play merchant this year. 43 non-power play points is just not good enough, and it was actually worse than last year. And then she also goes, no, Larkin is not one of the greatest goal scorers in the league. I hope he didn't think that I said that. I certainly did not say that. I said that Lucas Raymond is, if it's just on the power play, is one of the best players in the league, at least offensive players. But the problem is 5-on-5, he just wasn't good enough. And also, Gostisbehere Ghost wasn't going to stay here. I understand that. I'm not saying that it's just this terrible, terrible miss that they didn't re-sign him, but they needed to go better than Gustafsson. My point is that you're almost begging right now for a Gostisbehere type player, and it's like, man, you already had him and you didn't replace him adequately.
We already had the 4th worst PK in NHL history though, and Gostisbehere was arguably our worst defenseman last year. Like he was such an offensive defenseman. And that's not what we need. We need in my opinion, I think we need somebody more defensive-minded defenseman. And I just saw him sitting at the top of the blue line clapping it all the time, and I wasn't as big of a fan of him. I was happy to see him go.
No, and for the record, I would rather have a defensive defenseman too going into next year. 100,000%. I'm not opining for Shane Gostisbehere. I'm more pointing out the state of affairs we're in right now, where you got Gustafsson this year. I mean, that's all you really did in the offseason was just in terms of the blue line help. Aside, of course, for Simon Edvinsson being up for the whole year and Albert Johansson. But in terms of offseason acquisitions of veterans, it was just Gustafsson. And there were points this year where you could have used a Gostisbehere in terms of impact on the game. In terms of archetypal player, rather have just a hard-nosed, shot blocking, hitting defenseman. I absolutely agree with you on that, Chase. In terms of the future,
man, I'm hoping that Yzerman gets this thing figured out. It was crazy looking at the headline. I think it was either from the Freep or the Detroit News. So I apologize if I get it wrong, but effectively the headline was alluding to despite there being this kind of call for Yzerman to be fired, he deserves still one more year. I didn't know that it had gotten to that point that, the beat writers and the bigger papers are writing those types of headlines about Yzerman, effective with how you all have covered it. I've appreciated the passion. I've appreciated you all being real and still saying no. You can still see the vision. You can still see the path. You see the last couple seasons how close this team actually came. Probably made a coaching change a little too late. And if you buy into those things as well as maybe being a player or two away, if you believe in this team, the players that are here right now that are going to be here to upgrade that culture aspect of toughness that Chase is talking about, and then maybe it is just a player or two away for Yzerman to just find that can help this team get over the hump.
Yes, and before we move on to my favorite topic, Riley Greene slumping,
man,
I didn't contemplate death at all last night.
Goodness.
Just kidding, I did. But anywho,
Jeez.
Chase, I just wanted to ask you
Goodness.
before we get into that, is next year 100% unequivocally playoffs or bust?
I mean, just about. Yeah, next year is going to be huge. I mean, it's going to be, I would say, a very pivotal year for the Wings and the future of the Yzer plan. So I'm looking forward to it. There's a lot of time in between now and next October basically. So we'll see who gets added to this team. But yeah, I mean, next year is going to be very, very important, no doubt about it.
Regressions, they cause you to look in the mirror, and I hope that the front office, particularly Steve Yzerman, changes his approach a bit this offseason and feels some pressure, feels less comfortable, feels his seat warming up a little bit, because I think the thing that he really had working for him was linear progression, and this year they're just not going to get it. But on the other hand, Kasper and Johansson and Soderblom and Edvinsson prove that they're all NHL players, and in the case of Simon Edvinsson, I think he's really got some upside, and Marco Casper might get 20 goals this year. Shout out to him with a stat padding empty net goal last night. I actually don't mind that. Get yourself 20, young king.
Man, somebody who I wish could do anything in the stat sheet right now is Mr. Riley Greene.
What are you willing to do? What are you willing to do? I already told you yesterday. What are you willing to do?
Yesterday,
drop that in the chat. What are you willing to do?
I thought Flannel was crazy, but today, after 0 for 4 and 2 strikeouts, now I'm like, do I really need my pinky? Hey, but you know what
I don't.
Do you know what you do need? You need Buddy's for lunch. Buddy's Pizza's been serving the original Detroit-style pizza since 1946. And 79 years later, they have 22 locations in the state, this great state of pure Michigan. And fans can still visit where it all began on the corner of 6 Mile and Conant. Sign up for Buddy's Rewards to earn points on every purchase and receive exclusive promotions. Download the Buddy's Pizza mobile app to start earning today. And add some Detroit style to your next meal. Save 10% off your entire order using promo code 10meal. So that's the number. That's 10MEAL. Hey, but
Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today. We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports. Head to woodwardsports.com and click on Shop. Get the latest in Detroit sports apparel and exclusive Woodward Sports gear. Woodwardsports.com can get the whole team outfitted. Love the Pistons, Red Wings, and Tigers? We got something for you, too. Shop online at woodwardsports.com.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit. Game is won in the trenches, and our big fellas don't mess around. The Woodward Heavyweights on Woodward Sports.
Hey, it's Planet Fitness, fitness that fits your budget no matter where you are. There's a Planet Fitness close by. There are more than 50 in Metro Detroit and thousands more throughout the world. At Planet Fitness, you'll experience a squeaky clean gym that has tons of equipment, friendly, knowledgeable staff, and a totally judgment-free atmosphere. Did you know that all Planet Fitness memberships include fitness training for no extra cost? Want all the perks? Upgrade to the PF Black Card and enjoy use of amenities such as unlimited use of the Black Card Spa featuring hydro massage, massage chairs, and total body enhancement and more, along with access to over 2,500 locations worldwide and unlimited guest privileges. For more information or to join today, visit your local Planet Fitness or planetfitness.com.
What up, though, people? Welcome back. It is Wake Up Woodward. Chat family, smash that like button. JBSmooovv, before we get into this next segment where we got to talk about Riley Greene.
What's up?
Ah, man, I see a flannel shutter just a little bit there. We got any super chats to clean up?
We had some from earlier. I gotta go back and take a look at them as well too. Shout out to everyone for sending in super chats. I believe this was earlier from when we were talking about our Red Wings. Dante 151 199. Do you mean soft or soft? That's SAWFT for the Red Wings. So Flannel, I don't know if you mean soft or salt.
I want to ask Cavassier too. Chase, we got a super chat, man. And they asked, with the Red Wings, are they soft or soft? S-O-F-T or S-A-W-F-T?
Oh, which one's worse?
I don't know.
We'll go with whatever one's worse.
Whichever one's worse. It's probably what, S-A-W-F-T?
Yeah.
It's got to be that one.
Shout out Enzo and Cass for my wrestling people out there.
Shout out to them as well too. Also shout out to Nobody. He sent in $2. He said Blackstone, Monotone, Cyclone, I don't care, Stones and 6. So
all right.
there's that.
Let's go.
You
know what? Hey, it's Pistons winning, so I'm with it. Hey, let's rock. But those Detroit Tigers, I'm going to say this at least, those AL Central leading Detroit Tigers, still just for the good vibes and the good mojo, they did lose 5-1. They lose a series to the Brewers. And really their first series loss since getting swept by the Dodgers. And this one, as much as we say with Tarek Skubal, he is a, what was it? Skubal and Maeda is a bullpen's friend. Last night wasn't that. And Riley Greene definitely wasn't a friend to this lineup. And he just seems to be mired in a slump that we all feel like he's right on the edge of breaking out from. But he didn't do himself any favors last night after going, again, 0-for 2 strikeouts, and that batting average is plummeting south.
It is plummeting south, and I see what Wheezy's doing. The Green Bros about to do mental gymnastics because they tried to bury Torque. Okay, Wheezy. Okay. Here's what I will say just one more time. It is mid-April. It's mid-April, and Riley Greene's OPS is still above 600. Obviously, it's a terrible OPS for him. Obviously, he is in the worst slump I've ever seen him in. But this isn't the time to go reckless and talk minors or invoke what happened with Torque last year. Because with Torque, it was 2 whole months of bad. With Riley Greene, and I've said it before and I'll say it again, and this sentiment is even furthered today. If it's May and his OPS starts with a 5, there's really nothing I'll be able to say to defend him, especially if it continues to cost the Tigers games, which it has. 3 of the last 4 Tiger games, the only 3 that Riley Greene played, the Tigers either scored 0 or 1 run. I think Torque's solo shots were the only runs in both of them, and Riley Greene has not been able to come through in multiple occasions where if he gets a hit, maybe it swings the game a bit. Riley Greene's been awful. Riley Greene is almost unrecognizable at the plate to somebody who's always enjoyed watching him like myself. And it's tough. I'm going through it right now. As a Green bro, which I unobjectively am, I'm going through it right now.
Which limb are you giving up?
Actually, I think this none. I went a little bit too far.
I'm like, he about to name a limb.
No, this is where I think I want to ask a question to everyone in the chat and everyone in the room. And I'm sorry if I'm kind of surprising you guys a bit. What can we do to change Riley Greene's juju? If any of you in the chat actually have a suggestion of something I can do superstition-wise that isn't way over the line, I'll do it.
What's way over the line? Because you said a line yesterday of limbs.
Okay, less than that. Less than that. But I almost had to... Nope, too far. I'm not going to go there. Not going to go there. Not going to go there. I'm about to save myself. Not going to go there. Not going to go there.
Smart decision.
For Riley Greene, Flannel Sam and I should shave our heads.
Nope. Yep. Oh, and you, Kool-Aid. Big.
This guy's good over here. This guy's good.
I would rather have Riley Greene go to the minors and never play another single and never get another major league hit than shave my head. I would look terrible bald, and I think my wife would leave me. And I wouldn't blame her, by the way, because I'd leave her if she shaved her head just unexpectedly. And she knows it.
She pull a Britney you out, huh?
Yes. And if I pull fucking, I don't know who
She pull a Britney, I'm out.
If I pull like a Nick Koloff, shout out to you. I wouldn't blame my wife for leaving me.
Tailgate always wins.
Oh, man.
Shout out, Ray. Shout out, my boy.
Right now, because I know that this is a
He
lot
make
of
the ball
pain
look
for
good.
Flannel Sam right now, talking about Riley Greene, his godson. I hope you made sure that the door was closed and that his ears was plugged while you was talking about him like that. But man, KG, that game, it didn't do no favors last night, especially for the people that want to see him sent down to AAA. But when you talk
Idiots,
about
for the record.
when you-
Idiots.
Yeah,
for now,
like,
for
come
now.
on, bro.
because
Like,
everyone keeps
y'all
comparing
gotta come on with that.
still to like Parker Meadows, Spencer Torkelson. I'm like, guys, Riley Greene was just an all-star.
Thank you.
Sometimes you go through these types of slumps. And what you need is your team to pick you up. Last night wasn't just a referendum or an addendum on Riley Greene. It was a couple games that looked very, very similar to some of the things we didn't want to see from this Tigers team to start the season. And that, to me, was what was more alarming. You want to see your starting pitching and your bullpen go out there and give you an opportunity every single game. And beyond that, you want to see some bats other than Riley Greene be able to get this thing going. Shout out to Spencer Torkelson, who just seems to be Mr. Consistency this year. But last night wasn't a night where the team necessarily picked up Riley Greene like we had been seeing. We had already talked about this. That since he kind of went on the slump, the Tigers were still winning games in ways in which other people across this lineup and the way that A.J. Hinch was managing it, they were coming through. And what it magnifies effectively, I believe, where he is. And I think it puts even more pressure on him when you do have a couple games back-to-back like this.
And that's why it ultimately hurts, because I want to be fully transparent. If the Tigers were still winning and Riley Greene was slumping, I wouldn't really care. I'd be mindful of it because I think ultimately in order for the Tigers to make the playoffs or even win the wild card, quite frankly, Riley Greene is going to need to put up numbers similar to what he did last year. And there's going to be times where Riley Greene is going to have to carry a lot of the load. And last night was an example of, well, actually, these last three games are examples of times where you needed Riley Greene and he just didn't come through. And that's where it gets more concerning, because 1 for 31 with all those strikeouts it's ugly. It's hideous, quite frankly. And I'm not saying that he's a hideous player. It's just, it's getting to the point where I don't think it's normal. Maybe we look back at the end of the year and laugh. Do you remember when Riley Greene was 1 for 31? That sucked. I wish I could sleep forward to that day right now, but watching Riley Greene at the plate right now is, and trust me, it hurts me to say this more than I think it hurts Riley Greene to experience it. It's painful right now. Not putting together good at-bats, not hitting mistakes, not taking walks, working good counts, but still making outs anyway. And there are times where there was I think it was it last night, bases loaded, loaded the bases with walks, and Riley Greene rolls over one on the first pitch. That's the type of stuff you're seeing from Riley Greene right now. This isn't the Riley Greene that I know and love. Hopefully we get it back. Hopefully this is just the yips or a slump, but if he were like 1 for his last 16, which there was a time during this stretch he was, I'd be like, okay, that's fine, normal slump. 1 for 31, and you've got me. It's affecting my life, man.
Oh my
It's affecting my
God.
life. I know. I need
God,
better
man.
perspective. But anybody in the chat, anybody, tell me what to do. If you got any superstition, any juju that you can impart onto me that I can do to help Riley Greene, put it down. I will do it.
And you got on your maize and blue flannel today, and so it's like, you know what? I level with you.
Whenever you get to hit Sam, you gotta wear those same underwear every game till he doesn't get a hit again.
Some dirty ass dress.
I'll wash them every night, KG.
No, you can't.
Okay,
Then
well,
you lose the
watch
magic.
them, yeah.
All right, no.
What are we
Okay,
talking
maybe I
about
won't
right
do
now?
anything. I don't know.
That's the superstition, Sam.
No, I can't.
I say, there's some crazy baseball ones. You got you ever watch Bull Durham?
Yeah.
You can't wear the dirty drawers, man.
If
Like,
it's like a 10-game hitting streak, I'd be like Pigpen from Charlie Brown. Nobody would even want to be around me.
he has a wife. There's no way he getting away with the same drawers
Yeah.
multiple days, y'all. Like, we could just cut that one out.
Well, no, I was just giving him like Bull Durham. There's some other options from that movie too.
I feel you.
know?
I feel you.
If you know, you know.
Yes.
Your meets in the chat.
Well,
From Bull Durham.
And also, and this is dead serious, no smarm. I'm obviously not going to cut off a limb. I was joking about that, but in all seriousness, I'm not going to be able to go to the game tonight. I believe they play tonight because I will be doing a playoff preview show here. Shout out, tune in 7:30 tonight. But if you are at the game, if Riley Greene plays, which he might not, A.J. Hinch might sit him for another game or two, and quite frankly, I wouldn't blame him if he did. But his first at-bat, I want him to get the loudest ovation because you need him. You need him bad. You've seen in these last 3 games that he's played that he's struggled. You need Riley Greene to feel the love right now, at least while he's in the early stages of struggling. Like I said, if this continues into May, if it's, for example, May 15th and his OPS is, God forbid, like 570 or something, I'd be right there with everybody being like, maybe you should send him down. But right now, you need to lift that man up, because despite everything that's going on, absolutely, despite everything that's going on, the Tigers are 10-8. And wouldn't it be just the perfect time for him to break out of a slump, coming back home, facing Kansas City? Maybe you win that series with Riley Greene, maybe hitting 300 for the series. Wouldn't that be just exactly what the doctor ordered? And that's the great thing about baseball. You're only just one good game away from snapping out of it and seeing the ball again and going on a hot streak. And Riley Greene, he deserves that kind of cachet that being an all-star gives you. Cheer him tonight. Give him an ovation. And it's not just because I love him as a player. It's because this is the situation where he needs to be lifted up, not torn down.
Hey, man, listen, I feel almost as if Flannel was like telling himself in that mirror, like, you need him to break out of this slump. But I level with, because the theme of it is like we've seen Kavasier chase his passion with these Red Wings and how it's influenced you, even in terms of how your outlook on the season. We're seeing your passion with Riley Greene, and trust me, sports does this to us, or else we wouldn't even be up here doing this right now. It just has a way of being able to attach itself to our very being, and that's where I was going earlier. It's like I feel it, man. I remember when Trouble with a Snap. Man, my wife heard a noise like come from me that I didn't even know I could make, and I felt depressed, bro. That
was a great day.
Like, oh my gosh,
Thanks,
I was literally down, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I get it, especially when we care so much about the teams that we cover and that we root for and that we grew up as fans of. And for a player like Riley Greene, it's not just breaking out of a slump. It's like with Spencer Torkelson, could he contribute if he got it together? Yes. And does he elevate the ceiling of this team if he gets it together? Yes. But we still have expectations for this squad, whether Spencer Torkelson contributed or not. But with the Riley Greene, you're talking about a player who we thought was going to take us to that next level, be able to also have that in-house growth where he's able to effectively springboard. What's the next level after being All-Star? We're even looking at Cade Cunningham,
right?
New All-Star. Where is he going from here? And so to not have that, while we also see the effects of these players that we're depending on, like Kerry Carpenters of the world, and this is where it does. I'm glad that Flannel Sam kind of magnified this earlier. There are situations in which, as a singular bat, he could have made a difference and put pressure on the opposing pitching staff. And that's where it's like, man, you really want to see him get it together. Because the one thing that we continued in unison to talk about is this team needs bats. Yeah. You're not in power. You're not in a position to effectively lose that. We're not with this, waiting for him to get it together. Like, we should be grateful that these bats have put it together the way they have, to the tune of about 8 hits a game, now 8.5 hits a game. 4 of us dip now. It's like 4.5 runs per game. Because if it doesn't keep up and Riley Greene doesn't get it together, well, now we're going to be back to saying, man, they need more bats.
I just want to know, why are we having a funeral and coming up with rituals on what's today? April 17th of 2025. Listen, I'm still not necessarily worried, bro. And I do understand. And this is the type of pressure that Riley Greene is under, being the best player on this Tigers team. But the reason I keep saying June, come talk to me, is because by then, if he hasn't gotten it together, then it's very concerning. Then it's something to where I'm like, okay, we really need to pay attention and try and figure out what's going on with Riley Greene. And for all those people that saying send him back down to AAA, as the kids say today, touch grass, brother. Like, that's not going to happen.
He's just pressing right now.
He's an all-star. He's going to get a longer leash from the organization. That's just a reality. So, and you do expect him to come out of this slump, and I understand it appears to be becoming a trend right now, but I just want to caution fans to just slow down, bro. It's going to be okay. Just let him work through this. I understand. He know he needs to make adjustments. You can kind of visually see it on him. He's pressing right now. But let the offense come to you. He'll make the adjustments. He'll get back on track. And I do understand the Tigers being in the position that they're in with injuries. You really need guys like him to step up. And you've had the benefit of kind of like your 6 through 9 guys being, kind of a buffer and going out there and performing performing a little bit above expectation. But now that that's coming back down to earth, you absolutely need Riley Greene to get back to, his hitting ways, which he did show us early in the season. Once again, it's not like he's been bad all year, essentially. Like he's in a rough slump right now, but he'll get out of it.
And KG, you're right. I shouldn't be worried. I shouldn't be panicking. And I'm not really panicking necessarily. It's just that I think this is also a byproduct of, and let's just be quite frank, baseball fans, particularly Tiger fans, the faction of them that are saying stuff like Riley Greene should be in the minors, whether it's trolling or not, some of it I don't think is trolling, are some of the least macro thinking human beings you will ever see in your entire life. And that's what drives me the most crazy. And that's probably why they've almost influenced me, because as Riley Greene is struggling, the chatter seems to keep growing and growing and growing.
Right.
And as I keep trying to have some levity, the minority keeps growing and growing and growing. The reality of the situation, though, is that it's a 1 for 31, which is terrible, but before I pass it back over to you, Kool-Aid, I need to give some more levity onto all of this because, yes, the logical side of my brain says that everything is going to be fine. Mm-hmm. Put up that OPS list right there. And again, this is not excusing Riley Greene. It's just saying that I think there's this idea, and I'm dead serious. Some of the not smart Tiger fans, some of the Tiger fans that don't know baseball of a whole, I really do think that they think the only human being on the planet slumping right now is Riley Greene. And I'm dead ass serious.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. Based off of what you hear people say. These are players this season with a lower OPS than Riley Greene. Brian Reynolds, Salvador Perez, Willie Adames, Max Muncy, Cody Bellinger, Christian Walker, Carlos Correa, Wilson Contreras, Marcus Semien, and Alec Baum. All of these guys have been all-stars. One of these guys in particular has been an MVP before. We all know what Salvador Perez can do. Brian Reynolds, multiple-time All-Star. Willie Adames was one of the free agent prizes that a lot of Tiger fans wish that we would have got, went to San Francisco and is struggling. Christian Walker is another one. A lot of Tiger fans wish that we would have got him. He's struggling this year with Houston. Carlos Correa, somebody we'd all rather have than Javi Baez on the macro, has really been going through it this year. Marcus Semien, a lot of Tiger fans wanted him instead of Javi, and rightfully so, and he's going through it this year. It's a slump in baseball. So I kind of feel like in this segment, I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth. The objective side of me, thank you, KG, the objective side of me knows that everything is going to be okay, but I'm very candid about this. There are 3 athletes in Detroit that I am not objective about, that I am in love with in terms of sports-wise. Riley Greene, Cade Cunningham, and Aiden Hutchinson. So I do get a little bit sensitive and a little bit peeved at some people's reactions because on one hand, I think that they're being very short-sighted, but on the other hand, I can't defend what I'm seeing right now. If I tried, I would be just a blind slappy. I've got to call out that he is in the worst slump of his life, and it just really isn't fun for me.
But if you've been watching Riley Greene, he tends to be streaky, over his career. So you got to just wait for him to bounce back, bro. He's a professional. You expect him to go out there and bounce back, and I'm sure he will.
Especially as a proven all-star. It's not like we're talking about players that we were hoping we can get something out of, and that's to me the macro and the micro difference between he and a Spencer Torkelson, who had to go down to the minors, and they're saying he's trying to figure things out. Maybe they need to retool. Maybe they need to help him as it relates to his plate discipline. With Riley Greene, we know exactly what we get with Riley Greene. This just so happens to be a slump that's a little bit more extended than any other time. But I haven't lost confidence. I assume, like when you start talking about June and getting more into the warmer times of the year, that's when you're going to really start to see those bats perk up. And the ones that are going from the beginning of the season, they give themselves a great chance, especially like Riley Greene, at being able to be in that all-star conversation early. But in terms of the impact I believe he'll have, especially once we get to the meat of the schedule and the meat of the season and those hotter months, I do expect Riley Greene to be the Riley Greene that we know.
And
whether his end of season stats are the same or not,
Right.
I still expect him to be the same Riley Greene that we know.
No, and we brought it up before. The offense has been down across the board over these last few games. So you can't put it all on Riley Greene, although we all know he needs to be better. But we also have to realize this team is still incomplete. We still got reinforcements that are going to be on the way. It's no excuse. I'm not trying to excuse this team by any means. But once we get back to full strength and he gets more help around him, I feel like that will also maybe help his case as well. So we'll see.
See, and this is the stuff that I'm talking about. And I promised I wouldn't do this today, but
Oh, boy.
this level of idiocy needs to be called out because this guy, Devin Silcox, do any of the guys on that list play for the Tigers? Then I don't give a fuck about their slumps. Dude, then just say you're a Tiger fan who doesn't know ball. That's all you got to say right now. Because Devin Silcox, if I find out that you're one of those dipshits that's calling for Riley Greene to go to the minors, then you know what I'm going to need you to do right now? I'm going to need you to do this right now. Go do it right now. Before you do anything else, before you take another fucking breath.
Damn.
You better advocate that the Pirates send down Brian Reynolds, that the Royals send down Salvador Perez, the Giants send down Willie Adames, the Dodgers send down Max Muncy, the Yankees send down Cody Bellinger, the Astros send down Christian Walker, the Twins send down Carlos Correa, the Cardinals send down Wilson Contreras, the Rangers send down Marcus Semien, and the
That's a
Phillies
long
send
list.
down Alec Baum. If you're one of those
list.
people, then you better be fucking advocating
Yeah,
for
every
that.
name on
Because
the list.
basically what you're saying is that Riley Greene is the only person in the MLB who is not allowed to go through a slump. You have no whole high-level thinking or full-level thinking about what baseball is. It's a 162-game season. I'm giving perspective. I'm not making excuses. This is, to me, a gauge that leads me to believe that Riley Greene will get out of it, as will all of these guys. They're all too good. They're all all-stars, including Riley Greene. So, whatever your name is,
I
Devin
just want him to
Silcox.
finish this rant with just...
Shut up.
So, you have to just come over here and pry my Riley Greene love out of my dead, cold
Right.
head. So, this is like... I'm so serious, man. Ben Stiller from Meet the Fockers that crashed out on the airplane, man.
Yeah.
That's what I said, dog. That's where it's at. And I absolutely love it. It's like, stand for what you're passionate for, bro.
God damn, but breathe though. We need you here. Just breathe a
I'm
little
not
bit,
gonna
bro.
breathe. I hope this guy stops breathing,
Nah.
and before he's
Whoa.
not dead, not dead, he doesn't take another breath, and then calls for all those people to get set down as well. You have no perspective.
damn.
You're just an idiot Tiger fan who knows nothing about the
Well,
sport of
look.
baseball. That's fine.
He
Just
off the
admit
leash.
it.
Nasty.
846.
Stop
He
acting
off
like
the
you're
leash.
objective.
He off
Get out of our
846.
chat.
You're in the chat, Nasty says, W crash out.
846.
Devin Silcox. No, I'm not
Holy
calling for him to get
shit.
sent down. I'm just saying people are going to criticize Greene because he plays here. I understand that, and I've been critical as well. It's just that giving perspective amongst other players in the MLB who are also struggling is my way of presenting that. Like, I feel like people think that Riley Greene's slump is the worst slump that's ever existed in MLB and the worst thing that's ever existed on the planet, and it's just simply not true. It's bad right now. It's awful. I understand it, but any talk of minors, any talk of maybe Riley Greene's just not that guy, hold your horses. There will be a time, hopefully it never gets to that point where it's valid. The time is not now.
The time is now.
Mic drop.
Yeah,
It's
I
the
think that's time
franchise.
for
I'm
us for
shining
the
now.
next segment, KG. What we got on here? We're going JBSmooovv.
I gotta tell about some
Boy
merch.
read every
This is
day
the part
on
of the movie where the
list.
credits start to roll.
Right. I'm done, bro. I'm ready to go. Nothing more can be done here.
Yeah.
Flannel Sam has left the building. I'm good.
And does anybody think here that
Oh,
I'm...
he going in
Oh,
again.
no,
He's
no,
back
seriously.
at it again.
Going in again.
No, I'm not going
part
in. It's
two.
just, does anybody think that I'm defending Riley Greene, that I'm saying that his struggles are not struggles and that I'm just blind to what I see?
I think that you were fair to the criticism of right now, and that's the thing is, and we prefaced this last season. We cover this thing from game to game, but we also are going to make sure that we represent the bigger picture here. You know, so though he might be struggling right now, and I thought that you were very, very fair to the criticism, ultimately we all do believe that he's going to snap out of this thing, and still the Tigers are number one in the AL Central right now. So it's like keeping all those things in perspective. I thought that the conversation was balanced.
And oh, by the way, if you advocated minors, you're not allowed to cheer for him ever again. Dead ass. Because you have no foresight. You're just a man baby or a woman baby.
Just can't take it so
we might have
personal.
to cook something up for Flannel Sam as the official Riley Greene fan gatekeeper.
And for the record,
Maybe.
if you said that Riley Greene's struggling or that he's been horrible, that's different than saying he should be sent to the minors. If you said he should be sent to the minors and he gets out of it, you're dead. Every single one of you. I will find every single person that did that.
Hey, Riley, I wrote you, but you still ain't calling.
That's fair. That's fair. That's fair.
Just a funny thought, because since we were talking about movies, you guys ever seen this TikTok where it's like from Coach Carter, where it's like, oh, a person had a crash out, and then it pauses on them, and then it says later on he found out he did this, this, and this. And it's got the twister and get your money, man. Life goes on. That's what I feel about Flannel right now. It's just a picture of him, and then it turns black like Riley Greene hit a home run the next game, and Flannel shut up about it.
I mean, that's the best defense I ever seen played about Riley Greene. That shit was great, Sam. Masterpiece.
Thank you. I mean, and I'm not defending his slump. I want to make that very, very clear. He's hurt the team in 3 consecutive games that he's played. I said that at the beginning. People do not get that baseball's a long season. And any sort of panic that was in my voice is more from it's fan hurt is what it is. It's not panic as a whole. That's why if you say I've been speaking out of both sides of my mouth, I can't really blame you for that. But sometimes I feel like some of our fans don't deserve our players to be good. I'll just say that. Just as fickle as it's literally just like, what today? What am I going to feel today?
It can be like that.
So it's like the trade Cade fans, the send Riley to AAA guys, those guys.
If any of you guys are the same people, please don't procreate. Please don't.
Damn.
Have your gene
Just stop sex completely today. Don't do it no more.
Have your gene pool be stopped with
Just say no,
so that we never have to deal with any of your idiot kids.
Just castrate them, huh? Just get them out of here.
Chemically. I'm not saying shop them. I'm saying chemically.
Voice of reason before we get to the next.
Yeah,
one.
please. We need some reason in this bitch.
Some reasoning, like some seasoning. Just sprinkle it on it, bro.
I don't know how much reason I can give. I mean, Flannel's been making a point. He's been on
right
one.
there, rubbing his face.
Right. Bro, he has a show to do.
I mean, if anything, all I can say is that, sometimes Tigers fans have a little bit of PTSD. I mean, you seen this past season, we went to the playoffs, even though we didn't go far. You still seen the hope and potential of this team that you had. Now starting off this new season, after the offseason, not a lot of moves were made. So now you got this, you're in a position where you're going up against the champs, the Dodgers. Obviously, you're not thinking you're going to win, but you put up one hell of a fight. You bounce back in that second series, and now you're off to a little bit of slump for Greene as well, too. So now it's just fans kind of have a little bit of PTSD because they start to see the cracks breaking down once again. And it's like, you don't want to see this happen. You don't want to see this team or this player revert back to their old ways. And it's just like, no, you don't want to see this cycle happen all over again. So all I tell fans right now is just relax. Everything will be all right. He's going to get his swing back together. Just relax right now. It is still early. It is April. We're midway through April. Just relax.
I'm seeing
the voice of reason.
I'm seeing some people in the chat giving their examples of people who shouldn't procreate. I started a movement.
Yeah.
I know the birth rates are dropping and we need people to have more kids, but those people, no. But shout out to Kool-Aid, who is not part of that problem. Anywho,
you're helping the problem. You're helping solve the problem.
Got 4 of them things, man. 1 away from the starting 5. Hey, Mike G says procreating is fun, especially when it's fast and loose.
Oh yeah,
hey.
Shout out fast and loose.
Shout out fast and loose.
I know you're gonna say at the end of the show, but just for the people, real quick, before we go to the next segment.
What?
You introduce fast and loose one more time. How do you do it?
Oh, fast and loose with JBSmooovv. He's fast, I'm loose.
KG's day is made. And I
yes,
love it.
it is.
Dog, I'm so hyped for the homies, dog. The content, guys, please go on ahead and support it. We got a whole new lineup of weekend content and Fast and Loose, which gets posted generally about Tuesday or Wednesday. But I need you guys to stay tapped in. The fellas are working for you all and make sure that we can bring a bevy of content and stay tapped into. We got the Pistons playoff show tonight and the rest of the Woodward sports shows from Big D Energy E&E, and heavyweights today. But what friends we gotta say what up dog to? Is it
I gotta tell them about merch and then KG with Mad Packs.
Hey.
So let me tell you about some merch that we got going on right now. Head over to woodwardsports.com. Click on that shop tab. We got new designs for you every single week. Well, let me tell you about the ones up on the screen. We got the LFG Red Wings t-shirts and hoodies. They pulled it off last night, so maybe you should pull off some gear and go and buy yourself some. And also the Woodward Tigers as well, too. You should be decked out wearing this gear at Comerica Park when you're down there. Head over to woodwardsports.com. All you got to do is click on that shop tab. And KG, Mad Packs?
Mad Packs, man. You know it's the hottest cannabis brand around, and they are partnering with your people here at Woodward Sports. You know what that means, man. I'm going to be feeling good all weekend long during this Pistons playoff run, goddammit.
WrestleMania.
Hey, man, and WrestleMania as well. But you know what that means, man. Mad Packs is going to take your game to the next level. High-Low is getting you high for the low, delivering top-tier quality at unbeatable prices. And Kool-Aid's favorite part, of course, Boom Shakalaka. Boom Shakalaka is a live resin-infused tarantula. This one's the bomb Blizzard Packs THCA Moon Rocks that hit like a blizzard, of course. And they are coming to retailers next month. Stay tuned to Woodward Sports for all of the latest updates.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy a precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
At Lady Jane's, we take the trot of getting a haircut. Our talented stylist will deliver an industry-leading haircut, a relaxing scalp massage, hot lather neck shave, and a hot towel treatment. Open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Nasty.
Kool-Aid, you got a request in the chat from Mike G.
Mike G. What up, though, for Mike G?
He said, can you do a segment on how to make babies?
Oh, shit.
I mean, I am a professional. I ain't gonna say what I was gonna say.
You trained?
I was about to look at Kate.
Trained professional?
My boy trained.
I was about to say something, man. Never mind. I'm not even gonna
professional
say
pipe layer. My boy a professional pipe layer.
Kool-Aid would have called me like, what?
I didn't know you had a construction background, bro. I didn't.
Cracking backs.
Oh my gosh. Y'all wildin' this morning, man. It's not even 9 a.m. yet. Jesus, man.
Man, you know, and I know we got a TLB, but just briefly, man. You guys are just overall feelings on the Tigers going forward. Like, obviously, we talked a lot about Riley Greene, but just real quick, Flannel, how you feeling about their outlook, man?
I think that I'll just go very short term. I think that the Tigers take 3 out of 4 from the Royals, and Riley Greene finishes the series with at least 4 hits.
Let's go. Voice of reason. What up, dog?
I'm not gonna say 4. I'll go 3. How about that? 3. Just, a change. A change will happen.
I like that. Hey, KG.
We talking about Riley Greene or just the Tigers next series?
Both, man, honestly.
All right, well, Riley Greene will get back, to his hitting ways, hopefully during this Royal Series, and they really do need to do that because you would like them to hold on, to the first place spot that they've had. So I think they go 2 for 2 in this series. I think they'll split the series, but I look forward to it being more competitive than these last couple games. So
hey, what up, Doe Cavazzi, Chase?
We're talking about Riley Greene, right?
Yeah, Riley Greene and the Tigers, that outlook. Like, I know it was a lot of, hey, get it together, Riley Greene, but those Tigers are still number 1 in the AL Central.
Yeah, I mean, hey, hopefully the rest of the team can help pick him up a little bit. He's got to figure it out himself, and hopefully he'll get it together at the plate. We've seen other great players struggle. Jimmy Rollins, MVP, he had like an 0 for 27 stretch. So, just saying, like, good players go through bad slumps. So, but like hopefully he can get out of it, and then hopefully, like I said, the team can pick him up. The pitching can continue to be what helps, like, honestly propel this team, because that's going to be what carries us. And then guys like Riley Greene, guys like Torque, help like just putting it together. Colt Keith too. We want to see, like, not just Riley Greene get it back together, but Colt Keith start putting the bat on the ball too. So so no, I long season ahead. I know we're 10% of the way in, but let's keep the positivity up. We're not even to the All-Star break yet. So
Definitely, because nobody's season expectations have changed, even despite the fact that we're seeing certain things that we hope and we know need to improve. And that's why I wanted to be able to continue to make sure we provide the overall outlook as opposed to just the game-by-game reactions. But you know what? Something that got a lot of reactions. There's one I'm sure we're going to talk about at some point in time on the Pistons side with a mock trade, which just blew up all across socials. And there might be more legs to that than some would think, but we'll talk about that another time.
I just didn't want to be talking about, like, trading our players in the midst of a playoff
not
run,
at all.
Yeah,
I was like, I told the social
we'll get
team
into that
too.
at some point.
I was like, man, I'm not going to stop y'all, but really? But there was one other that blew up across social media, and it was TLB time. Hey, what up, though, KG?
Talk Lions, bitch.
Word to our brother Matthew Broder. And can we interest you guys in an edge rusher?
Ooh, I mean,
You sure can.
Well, and obviously this may or may not be realistic, but our social team put out a mock trade, which we would be giving the New York Giants the 60th pick this year in exchange for, you got that, JB?
Yep.
Kayvon Thibodeaux from the New York Giants. We all know Kayvon as a player that a lot of Lions fans wanted them to go after if either Hutch wasn't available and the Jaguars did the right thing, or even if Hutch was available in the same draft class, and has been a really good player in this league, although definitely not what Hutch has been. But Kayvon Thibodeaux, in 3 seasons with the Giants, 21 sacks, 26 TFLs, 46 quarterback hits. His only full season, he did have 11.5 sacks, so credit to him for that. He's a really good player, and I think that if you just want to look at pros of this, because I'm not exactly sure if I would do it or not, but pros, he'd definitely be the best bookend Hutch has ever had. I think that this team would be more primed for a Super Bowl run this year with Kayvon, as opposed to doing nothing at this point besides the draft. But that's to be seen as well. And I think that maybe Kayvon and Aiden together as bookends could potentially even unlock more out of each other. Maybe Kayvon becomes more as a bookend, one of the best bookends in the league, which I already think he is, playing as opposite Brian Burns, and Aiden Hutchinson with less attention on him. His numbers could be what they were maybe poised to be last year before the injury.
Because the perspective generally is what Aiden Hutchinson and this defensive line can do for a rookie that we draft or an edge that we trade for or sign. But I like the perspective of what getting the right type of bookend here does for Aiden Hutchinson, and how it can even take his already insane, crazy game, especially after seeing the pace he was on at the start of last year, to the next level. And that's what you want, because it's not just what he will spring loose. There's only so much you can do to try and defend Aiden Hutchinson, and we saw that. He got the attention last year, and they beefed up their defensive line. And he still was able to get home. And so this is a deal that, I'm a little bit on the fence about it, but it's one in which it's tantalizing. When you just take your mind and you put your mind to the field of play, to the playoffs, to knowing that this pass rush would be elite, beyond elite, that's where you just kind of go, all right, close your eyes, and maybe you just swipe the deal and keep it moving. But the way that Brad Holmes generally cooks up, and when you start talking money and things of that nature, that's where it makes you pause just for a little bit. Especially knowing, like you said, the draft is where we've seen him cook up, and if you're going to trade a second-round pick, is it for Kayvon, and is that too much?
Well, and I think that's where you just wonder what philosophically they're thinking about, because I gave the pros. Kayvon's a damn good player, and I think he would immediately help this team. And also, if you want another pro, and this is potentially in La La Land, I would consider this in a perfect world. Got him under a rookie contract for next year, potential fifth-year option, but you also wonder if Kayvon, say, balls out next year with the Lions. In this hypothetical world with the Lions, would he play under a fifth-year option, or would he look to become one of the highest-paid edge rushers in the NFL? Because if Kayvon were to play next year, get double-digit sacks, and Aiden, of course, do what Aiden does, Kayvon Thibodeaux might be like, you know what? Pay me. Give me $30-35 million a year before he even gets to that fifth-year option. Might hold out. We never know about that, but that's certainly something to be mindful of. However, I also think if Aiden Hutchinson, say, gets 15 to 17 sacks and Kayvon gets 10, Lions might be winning a Super Bowl.
That's the conundrum. It's almost this Super Bowl window versus the long-term rebuild, which Brad Holmes, we know, he wants to be able to do both. Protect the long-term rebuild, or not rebuild, but the long-term health of this team to be able to be a Super Bowl contender for longer than what we perceive this current window to be. And that's where a deal like this, you're asking yourself, you're going to have to potentially plunk down a lot of money to be able to retain him, but you're looking at somebody that's going to put you in a position to be a really, really good team and help this long-term. But if you get somebody as effective in this draft, that costs a lot cheaper, that you have control of a lot longer, might not be as effective as Kayvon. Does this put you in a better position long term?
Well, yeah, and that's the question, and that's the only reason why I'm not, even as Flannel Holmes, not even from the mind of Brad Holmes, but even as Flannel Holmes, not necessarily going pick.
But you would take the pin out the grenade if it meant, because you're right, man. It's like if it's a Super Bowl, this is what we're in for. Even if you want the long term health, if you're in for a Super Bowl, don't you sometimes just kind of pull the pin and close your eyes and just chaos ensue? Because it would be crazy.
Well, and that's where I want to be fair to the argument. I also want to give you a couple of numbers that aren't as kind to Kayvon Thibodeaux. And again, I would love him in a vacuum on this team. When we're talking about trading a second-round pick and potentially paying him later, which I don't think the Lions would do, or even just getting him for a year, you have to take this into consideration. For his
just briefly, because I do want to ask you, after you go through this effectively, when you look at who he is and what that investment will be, is there a player within these first couple rounds of this draft that you believe, better investment, give some type of an impact that you think is a better value?
Potentially. And I'm not necessarily going to go with names just yet, but I might get to there at some point. With Kayvon Thibodeaux, what his deficiencies are is, for his career, he's only has a 9.4 pressure rate, which Aiden Hutchinson's, for comparison, is 14. And Marcus Davenport's, for comparison on that, is 11.4 in the past 3 years. Although we all know what Marcus Davenport's limitations are. He just can't stay on the field. His pressure rate is a little bit lower than you would like. And even last year, when the Giants had a defensive line with Brian Burns, with Dexter Lawrence, with Azeez Ojulari, just when you isolate it to last year, Kayvon Thibodeaux's pressure rate was 10.6%, which is lower than you would like. Not bad. His sack production, his TFL production, his quarterback hits production is good, but I'd like for him to get a little bit more pressure. And the fact that even on a great D-line, he struggled a bit with that, that's a little bit concerning, although not a deal-breaking red flag. The question, though, is, and I'm not even necessarily talking about the 60th pick, if there's any thoughts about trading for Kayvon Thibodeaux, I would think that your second choice would be taking an edge at 28 and then going on from there and just keeping your draft picks. And to be fair, In the NFL, there are a lot. You can get a lot of effective pass rushers at pick 28 or even far beyond that. And JB, I've got one more of those graphics to really highlight that, but there is a caveat. So I'm just going to give you the list and then present my caveat as well. Go on ahead, Mr. Smoove. Players with 10 or more sacks in 2024 that were drafted at pick 28 or later in their respective drafts. Trey Hendrickson, Nick Bonito, Kyle Van Noy, Daniil Hunter, Jonathan Grenard, TJ Watt, Andrew Van Ginkel, Jonathan Cooper, Zach Seiler, Adafe Owe. Do I think that somebody like Donovan Ezeraku could turn into something like that? Sure. Maybe Nick Scorton, a little less confident, but maybe. I think it depends at 28 who's available, because if Mike Green's gone, if James Pierce is gone, if Donovan Ezeraku's gone, if Shamar Stewart's gone, if Nick Scorton's gone, then you're probably like, I don't know about that. But the point of all of this is that a 28th pick or even a 60th pick on an edge rusher could end up being a better long-term investment than getting Kayvon Thibodeaux for a year or two and then the prospect of either letting him walk or paying him or trading him. But the one caveat I will give to this list, because the Lions are going to be one of the Super Bowl favorites next year, and you know that I'm all about maximizing next year as well. The only 3 guys on this list that even had 5 or more sacks in their rookie seasons were Daniil Hunter, TJ Watt, and who was the other one? Adafe Owe. Those were the only 3. So if you pick an edge at 28 or later, it's probably going to be more of a long play. They're probably not going to come in and hit the ground running immediately. But as you can see, a lot of them turned into damn good players, including a couple Hall of Famers on that list as well.
Yeah, and I kind of prefer that option, though, and I get it. Maximizing that Super Bowl window is something that I definitely have had be a constant refrain. But when you talk about some of the rookies that you could bring in here, though the numbers might not be the same, I do believe some of it might be due to usage, rotation, and just getting your feet, hitting the ground and stable. But goodness gracious, man, this one is a tough one because you're right. You're right. If you could go out there and guarantee a Super Bowl, which in any of these sports you can, but if you can go and put yourself as close to it as possible, we know in the trenches is where these things are won. We just saw our most recent Super Bowl winner do that, especially with that pass rush. That's where it just makes you think. And KG, man, you got to add more to this conversation, bro.
Yeah.
To effectively help balance this thing out. I think I still lean towards Brad cooking up in the draft and call our guys Darius Smith back.
Yeah.
But, man, this is an interesting one.
Let's just state for the record, this would be absolutely crazy considering that a lot of people thought that the Lions might draft Kayvon Thibodeaux. I think if Aiden wasn't available, then they absolutely would have. But sure. I'd look at this deal a little funny, man, because from the Giant side of things, I don't understand why they would do that. I don't know why you would want to get rid of more talent on a rookie deal off of your team.
The report was that they're cost cutting.
You still got him
open to trading him based on what he will.
He has one more year and then the 5th year.
Yeah, I wanted to give an answer to that because what good does Kayvon Thibodeaux do this team, even if he balls out?
No, true.
Is he somebody that they're going to pay long term? Whether they should or shouldn't, that's up to them. But
he's still in a decent spot in their organizational trajectory that if they got some competent people in there, they could actually, maybe keep him and pay him. At least I would kind of look at that way. Whatever they doing is what they doing, though. But as far as the Lions are concerned, like you brought up, I just can't see him doing that because, you can get him while he's still on this rookie deal, but he would have to eventually get paid. So if you're in the market for just doing a rental type move, why didn't you take that 2nd round pick, package it with a next year's 3rd, and go get Trey Hendrickson? Because I would much rather have an established product if we're going the rental route. No offense to Kayvon Thibodeaux. I think he would be a good fit here. But just overall, just based on the fact that you would have to pay him. And I don't see Brad doing nothing like that.
There are multiple people at this network, and I'm not necessarily saying I agree with them, but I think that Trey Hendrickson has the type of cachet to say, I'm not going to play unless I get a long-term deal. I know there's a couple people at this network who have been very adamant about that. I'm not necessarily saying it's true, but it could be. He's Trey Hendrickson. He's had 17 or more sacks in 2 consecutive years. If you're Kayvon Thibodeaux, I think you're at least going to get him for a rookie contract under a year. Or for a year. I even surmise that maybe if he were to ball out in the hypothetical situation with the Lions next year, that he would hold out for a better contract and not play under a 5th-year option. I could see that. But I do think there's an absolute guarantee that you would get cheap Kayvon for 1 year. Whether that's good enough or not, that's for all of us to decide. But that's my answer.
He would be better than any, second round edge you would maybe draft in this draft. I would say that. So I don't know. I wouldn't be like mad at the deal, but I would look at it a little funny because it's like, you could have got Trey Hendrickson. We don't know, but maybe you could have.
Yeah, and I'm salty said they are dumb, referring to the Giants. But,
of course they are. Joe Shane's a certified idiot.
Yes.
Yes.
Listen, because KG looked legitimately bewildered. Like, I don't know why we talk about this, but I guess we'll talk about it. Listen, brother, from Fox Sports to SB Nation, Big Blue View, New York Giants rumors. Could the Giants really part with Kayvon Thibodeaux? There's plenty of speculation about the possibility, and a recent article from Fox Sports has named the Giants' edge defender Kayvon Thibodeaux as a possible trade candidate ahead of the 2025 NFL Draft.
I guess they don't want to pay him, but if I'm their organization, I might not do that right away. But if they want to do that, that's fine. I just don't know if he's the right fit for here. That's all.
That's so weird to me because you would think if you're in the market for a new quarterback and you're trying to build this new culture, don't you do it with one of the guys you brought in initially?
Well, the thing is, though, is that the Giants, they're still probably a long way away. I understand that. I think with Russell Wilson, they're actually going to be a little bit better this year than they were with what they had the previous years. And obviously Malik Neighbors looks like a hit. You paid Brian Burns. You got Dexter Lawrence. Andrew Thomas is a good O-lineman. But they're still a long. Tyrone Tracy looked like a really good steal of a running back for the record as well. They're still just a long way away. And I can understand if they want to use Kayvon as trade value, especially considering you've got a pretty good defensive line as is, although you lost Azeez as well. And even if they don't subscribe to that logic, the Giants are not a good organization. They're just not. No. Could you see the Lions running? Could you see Brad Holmes running circles around Joe Shane? Yes, obviously. Go ahead, Kate.
Let me present you a scenario then, because I know you all in on the Zadarius Smith move. Would you rather do this, or would you rather sign Zadarius Smith?
Sign Zadarius.
Zadarius in the draft. Mm-hmm. I really
sign
would.
Zadarius.
And I'm salty.
Rest my case.
Giving up draft capital for a 1-year rental, I wouldn't want that again. He said we still crying over Big Z. It's like right on point.
Yeah.
I would rather have that, especially when we talk about being able to maximize the Super Bowl window for as long as possible. The thing that I continue to go back and forth in between, but my maturation as a fan of a team with Super Bowl expectations is, what does going all in for a Super Bowl actually look like? Because we see teams win Super Bowls every year, and honestly, it's the ones that are well run from a balanced perspective, similar to what Brad Holmes does, and they stick true to their principles of what got them there. And that's where it's like, goodness gracious, with Kayvon Thibodeaux or Trey Hendrickson or any of these guys look awesome. And I'm glad that our GM he's not obtuse to things that go against his general, way of doing things. He knocked on the door.
Yeah.
We know that. It was reported of some of these big deals that a lot of us thought, he'll never do that type of stuff. And that's where it's like, you know what, I would be comfortable, and I'm glad that, to reiterate, he said, look, I'm going to stay in touch with Big Z, because I do believe that there is a world where a rotation of dogs, a nice depth, in that on the defensive line, does provide the Detroit Lions a nice boost, even over what they had last year healthy.
Yeah, and going all in looks different for different teams, especially teams like ours. Like, a lot of people correlate going all in as, go get the big name and let's go do it. That's not always necessarily the case when you drafted most of your stars. And that's where the Lions are. So they don't really need to add a lot of big names, but you would like to see them make moves. I mean, like, a move like this wouldn't be a bad move. I mean, especially for a team that's in a Super Bowl chase. This would improve this Lions defensive line. Don't get me wrong. having somebody like that. It's just how does it look if it doesn't work? And that's the biggest thing, because whatever move that you make at this point, it has to be strategic. It's like chess. You can't afford any wasted movement. Your next move needs to be your best move. So they're in that water because whatever you're doing now is to get over the top. Does Kayvon Thibodeaux put you over the top? I don't know.
And if you bring him in, does that sacrifice
Yeah.
any aspect of the future?
Got him.
I'm serious.
To answer your question, I think he might. Which is why I'm not dismissing this in totality.
And I don't think you're wrong.
I'm still leaning towards not doing the deal. But the one thing I will say, just to give one more credence to the pro Kayvon thing, which I'm not at entirely, but I can see the side more, is that I don't think there's a single player you're going to get in this draft that will affect this season, at pick 28, that will affect this season as much as Kayvon Thibodeaux would. A fourth-year edge who's played some really damn good football in his career, and now you put him opposite Aiden Hutchinson, he's had good situations before, but Aiden's better than Brian Burns. And, of course, Kayvon, if you include Aleem when he's healthy, and Reeder, and Levi O, and maybe another draft pick, Roy Lopez as a super depth piece. Just saying.
That's what I'm saying too. Like, good gracious, right? Yo, the Lions, they got the opportunities in front of them to go and improve this defensive line before the start of the season, especially with some pass rushers. And that's where I am. And I wonder, chat family, where you guys at as well? Do you go and you play with dynamite, push this thing over the top, and take a chance on those types of players like Kayvon? Since the rumors and the speculation is that he is a potential candidate per Fox Sports and SB Nation before the NFL draft. Or do you feel more like KG was like, you know what, if you're going to take a swing, why not at a person like a Trey Hendrickson? Or is it that Big Z in a draft pick? Have you made your mind up yet? You still deliberating?
Oh, I think Trey Hendrickson's dead, for the record. I mean to the Lions. Yeah. Here's what I'm not going to do either. Because obviously, I'll be honest, especially after presenting Zadarius Smith's numbers yesterday and his pressure rate over the past 3 years, they're great. They're right up there with some of the future Hall of Famers, Defensive of the Year type players. That's fair. That would mean that was really my final piece of being like, yeah, Zadarius would 100% be my first choice, even over a Kayvon trade. But I'm not also going to act like he's here already. Because what if we don't get Zadarius? Obviously, him being in Detroit, dating Cash Doll, not signing with another team yet, that's some points in favor of him coming back to Detroit, but I also have no problem with presenting other options because it's not a foregone conclusion.
No. Jesse Adams in the chat says, I'd say Kenneth Grant would make a massive impact right off the bat, just as much as or close to Thibodeaux, in my opinion.
See, I disagree. I think that Kenneth Grant can become a multiple-time Pro Bowler type of guy, but we're talking year 4 Kayvon versus rookie Kenneth Grant or rookie Nick Scorton or James Pierce might be close, but with him, even though I don't subscribe to it, there's question marks. There are no question marks about Kayvon Thibodeaux as a player. Is he a star? Was he worthy of being a top 5 pick? That's the question you should ask. But as a capable bookend type, absolutely he's a player in this league.
Man, hey, you know what? Let's say what up, though, to some friends, and we got some more TLB on the way.
More options now to augment this team, courtesy of old Flannel Sam 2.0. Stop the presses. Extra, read all about it. Actually, it's not that exciting, but
hey,
go ahead.
I think you know what? But we still can't wait. Everybody likes when Flannel Sam whips out the big mock.
Uh-oh.
Hey, attention sports fans. Bang! Big musket energy. Attention sports fans, don't miss out on expert sports injury insights with Dr. Jeff Pierce of Michigan Sports and Spine. Join Dr. Pierce every Tuesday on Big The Energy, every Thursday on Ermanni and Edwards, where he's offering top-notch injury advice. Trust the guy that DMAC trusts. Dr. Jeff Pierce is here to keep you in the game and performing at your best. For more information, visit MichiganSportsAndSpine.com or call 248-426-9944.
Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer, is kicking off the game with the best prices on all cars, trucks, and SUVs, like this 2024 Silverado for just $296 a month, or this 2025 Equinox for as low as $371 a month. Our locations in Novi, Highland, New Hudson, Livonia, and Lansing means we have the perfect Chevy right in your backyard. Get the home team advantage every day at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
Big injuries? Big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon, and Ermanni and Edwards with Maz Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
Dreaming of a new home but feeling the financial pinch? Mark White & Associates, your trusted real estate experts, are here to help. Mark White and his team will pay up to $5,000 of your closing costs. That's right, I said $5,000. Call Mark White & Associates today at 248-290-8242 or visit them at markwhitesales.com. Again, call Mark White today at 248-290-8242 to make your dreams come true.
We are back. It is Wake Up Woodward. Go ahead and smash that like button. Let's run it up today. And thank you guys as well for the super chats and your support of the WUW Crew. Shout out to our brother Matthew Broder, that dude Justin, Gavassier, Chase, Willie B, Summer, man, the whole extended family with the WUW Crew. We got this elite booth, KG in the sound booth, JBSmooovv in the TD booth, Flannel Sam and Kool-Aid up here on the desk. What up, though, JB?
A little bit of, well, not really breaking news, just some stuff popping off on Twitter right now from a Lions beat reporter, Eric Woodward. He said Lions GM Brad Holmes feels it's some good pass rushing talent in the draft. There's some good football players there, he said. As well, shout out to Colton Pouncey from Brad Holmes. Watch the draft. This is a quote. Watch the draft. Get your popcorn ready and enjoy it.
He's trading up, confirmed.
Hey,
he's trading up, confirmed.
Maybe a topic for tomorrow. We shall see.
But we got to go back and roll those tapes back, man. We're gonna have to.
He's trading up, dog.
Listen,
I told you. I told all of you. No,
once the Z said, well, listen, that was one of the things as we continue to ponder a lot of this stuff is like, go cook up in a draft, and is it worth? If there's somebody that you believe can be one of those day one starters on a controllable deal over the next 4 or 5 years, do you go and do that? Remember, we asked, if you're willing to trade for a Garrett, if you're willing to trade for a Hendrickson, you wouldn't do that for a player in this draft that you think can give you some type of an impact, both right now and long term, on a much cheaper deal or a controllable deal. Man, that's look at JB over there. He's just smiling over
I was going to say I got something else too, a little bit of negative, even though we were just talking about this as well too. Shout out to Eric Woodward once again. GM Brad Holmes said he hasn't had any discussions with Zadarius Smith since the NFL annual league meeting where he gave his last update. So
that was 2 weeks ago. There's no reason to...
No talks since then.
It's a couple weeks. It's still it's draft time, y'all. Like,
how you feel about that, KG? Explain it, man.
It's draft time. It makes sense. He's a busy man right now, probably the busiest he is all year long. It is draft season. It's not the biggest deal if they ain't talked, at least to me. So I think, and I told y'all this, did I not say that this could not happen before the draft? This could maybe even go past June 1st when, some of other players' contracts come off the books and things get shook up a little bit. I'm just saying, like, give it time. This might not happen right away.
And to be real, isn't that what generally and sometimes happens with players like that? If they talked a couple weeks ago, my notion is the numbers are already out there, what the Lions are willing to do, what Brad Holmes is willing to do.
Exactly.
And they already know. So it's like, when you're ready, come on back home. And if he knows he got that going, then maybe Brad Holmes can step to the podium, especially while he's trying to keep a lot of things coy and say, oh, no, I haven't talked to him. Who knows what GMs are trying to read into and play into, because if they are candidates to trade up, which we've seen them be in the past, you don't want a team to be able to go and potentially run up the value, or potentially another team being able to go up and grab that same player that you might have your eyes set on. So I like the fact that this one in particular, they usually call their shot straight and they knock it out the park. But in particular for this draft, man, he's been true to his word, but it's just been scattered. You can't really plot anything that Brad Holmes is going to do in this thing.
And Kool-Aid, that's a great point. Just to add to that, what if him signing Zadarius Smith is dependent on what happens in the draft? It could be a very good possibility that he's weighing that option too. If he can move up and get the guy that he wants, maybe you don't need a Zadarius Smith at that point. Yes, I would like to have him back, but at that point you would have your rookie on a rookie deal, and you got Marcus Davenport. You know, you got some of those other guys, Al-Qaeda and Muhammad. I know these aren't fan favorites of some on the desk, but you do have a serviceable amount of edges at that point. Maybe they want to roll into the season like that, but it all depends. Like you said, we don't know.
Goodness gracious. But you know what? Talking about this draft, Flannel Sam, what up, though?
Hey, so I've got ways that I want to help this team as well.
All right.
But this is so my rule for Flannel Sam's mock draft 2.0 is that I didn't allow myself to pick any of the same players as I did last time. I think that's a good exercise to do because there are, I think, multiple options that Brad Holmes has at his disposal to make a good draft. And if, JB, you want to go ahead and throw that up right now, I will just do a brief synopsis on every single one of those players. At pick 28, I have the Titans selecting Tennessee interior defensive lineman Omar Norman Lott.
Okay.
What intrigues me about him is his pass rushing upside. His last season in college had a absurd 19% pass rush win rate from the interior. He's not super big. He's not stout he's not as stout as you'd like against the run. He's only 6'3", 280, by the way. But I also think he would provide the highest pass rushing upside of anybody in the Lions defensive tackle room. They've already got more space eater types like Roy Lopez and DJ Reader. And Aleem, even though he's better than just being a space eater, is a massive human as well. Somebody that's quick and agile and I think has some positional versatility like Omar Norman Lott could be a nice complement on this defensive line. At pick number 60, and I was actually inspired to do this from Chase's old draft in which he picked Jared Ivey, Ole Miss defensive end, at pick 60. And quite simply, to me, it's value. He's got the size archetype that the Lions like. He's about 6'6", 285. And in college in his last season, had a higher pass rush win rate than Shamar Stewart, had the same pass rush win rate as Nick Scorton, and he was a higher graded run defender than Nick Scorton. And he had more sacks last season than both of them. I know it's not perfect. I know that there's a lot of context to it, but considering that Scorton and Stewart will be in the first round and you could probably get Ivy in the second, that's value to me, and he's got similar size to both of them. At pick 102, the pick that I'm most proud of, cannot believe he was still there, Tate Ratledge at 102. If the Lions pick Tate Ratledge, he's starting next year instead of Graham Glasgow. I believe he's got that athletic upside. He was an All-American last year, and he's just going to be one of those star guards in the future that you get in later rounds, and those types are littered all around the NFL, by the way. At 130, I've got Kyle Williams from Washington State. And, oh, by the way, Kyle Williams, according to the PFF Big Board, was projected to be a high third-round pick. So this is, by definition, a steal. And the reason why I like Kyle Williams is he's J-Mo-like. And I know before people say, does this mean you want to trade J-Mo? No. It's just that
I'm trying to get rid of. No, you heard it here first.
But just with the way that he plays, he's about 6 foot, 185, has 4.4 speed, can really take the top off of a defense, lines up outside more in the slot, but can also play effectively in the slot. Has a very high contested catch rate, by the way, 63% last year. Just a very versatile, potentially deadly weapon of the future for the Detroit Lions. And then for a couple of years, you'd have him in the same receiver room as J-Mo, which is what I advocate, by the way. Nobody's saying trade J-Mo. At pick 196, I've got Craig Woodson, safety from Cal. And the reason why I got him is because I think you could use another safety in the room. And what I like about...
because his last name's not Woodson.
that plays a fact. No, it doesn't. But Last season, 75% passer rating allowed when targeted, a 21% forced incompletion rate, which is very high, 9 passes defended, which is great. And he is also one of the only safeties in his draft class that is graded as an 85 or higher on pass defense and run defense. And I get it. That's a lot of stats that I'm throwing at you, but we're talking about a 6th-round pick at 196. That's what really draws me to him, is that he was just damn good at Cal, and I think that he could potentially be an NFL-level player, even if it's as a backup. At pick number 228, I've got Jalen Travis, tackle from Iowa State, and the reason why I picked him, obviously, I'm not expecting too much. If he busts, he busts. There's no such thing as being a bust as a 7th-round pick, but he was a very high-graded pass blocker. He only allowed 1 sack last year and over 450 pass-blocking snaps. I like that. And at pick number 244, Jared Harrison Hunt from SMU. I know that would give us a lot of interior defensive linemen, but at pick 244, he's another one. Just has very high pass rushing upside, especially for being that low of a draft pick. Yeah. Needs some refinement, obviously, in other facets, but we're talking about pick number 244. So that's my draft.
Now, Sam,
Yes.
I love this draft. The first round pick we're gonna talk about, but
sure.
Especially rounds 2 through 4, you killed that, bro. That's real good. Why did you opt to go defensive interior for the first round pick? Because you can argue that at this point they can be deep at that position, especially once Aleem comes back. You can argue they're deep at that position. Do you want your first round pick to go to interior?
It's because of what was available, if I'm being quite frank.
Okay.
James.
So you would have went edge first.
James Pierce was available, and I would, but I gave myself that arbitrary rule that I wasn't allowed to double up because if it was, every single mock draft that I ever make is gonna be James Pierce.
No, seriously, you got to try to be different. I understand.
You got to try to be different. And the only one that was available at that point was Nick Scorton, and I think it was the question of, do I want an interior like Omar Norman Lott, who I think is a better interior prospect than Scorton is an edge? It was very, very close, but I chose Omar Norman Lott because of his just freakish pass rushing upside. But he does have some things to work on as like a run defender.
Yeah. And I see Hoof Hearted in the chat, my favorite chat name. He says Sam has a point that there are still going to be great edge players available in the 2nd and even the 3rd rounds this draft. We don't have to panic if Brad doesn't go edge in round 1.
Yeah, and like I said, because this is 2.0, I would still probably take an edge, and I did in my mock draft 1.0, but pressure from the interior is huge. Yeah. Sacks from the interior is huge, and we've got Aleem, but I think Omar Norman Lott, he's a guy that it wouldn't shock me if he has a double-digit sack season at least once in his career.
Man. Hey, Voice of Reason, what up, though? Hey, because there's a lot of A's on this, on Flannel's Big Mock version 2.0. And chat family, put your grades in the chat as well. I see Flannel Sam's burner account gave it a B-. In the chat, that's what it says.
I'm very humble, so I can't give myself A's, you know.
But Dante151 gave it an A-. Chat family, I don't know what you guys feel, but JBSmooovv, man. It's a lot of basically additions in the trenches for these Detroit Lions.
Yeah, I agree. When I did my second edition of a mock draft, actually Kyle Williams was on the list of some people that I was looking at as well, too, in those later rounds. I did somehow get to see Omar Norman Lott in the 3rd, so I don't know if there was like any other players that were better available at that first pick, but he was available to me in the 3rd. But other than that, I mean, I like it. It's a solid B.
Man, I guess I didn't get good value then. If he's available in the 3rd, but
Brad don't give a damn about your positional value. Yeah. Brad do what the fuck he want to do. So
BPA,
like, man,
he done told y'all.
In the 3rd, he would have been there in the lower. It's just like
he don't
Brad's,
care.
I don't care.
He don't care.
I got a team to run. And you know what, Eric Allen, A-. Great draft. Sam.
Thank you.
I think this is A-.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And for the record, we did get a couple of submissions in the of our chat members in their mock drafts. So let's take a quick break and then come back and we'll read those and we'll get right into what's trending.
What do we got to hear from one Mark White.
Yep, Mark White. Now tell him about jars.
Mark White is gonna do.
I mean, where does he go if he's in this NFL draft?
Well, he goes in the top. Goes in the first round. Jimmy
At
Newell,
least
but
See the hops on there?
Mark White Associates, your trusted real estate experts, are here to help. Mark White and his
60
team will pay up to $5,000 of your closing costs. That's right, I said $5,000. Call Mark White Associates today at 248-290-8242 or visit them at markwhitesales.com. Again, call Mark White today at 248-290-8242 to make your dreams come true.
And all right, Woodward sports fans, whether you're hitting the game or just simply chilling at home, Jars Cannabis has you covered. Jars is home to Michigan's largest line of recreational cannabis products, 27 locations across the state, 9 alone in Metro Detroit, so there's always one close and nearby you. But don't fear, because we live in Grand Rapids, Madison Heights, or Milan, Michigan. Stores are popping up your way very, very soon. If you don't have time to check them out in store, always look them up online at jarscannabis.com, because you know what? I know you want to get high.
Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer, is kicking off the game with the best prices on all cars, trucks, and SUVs, like this 2024 Silverado for just $296 a month, or this 2025 Equinox for as low as $371 a month. Our locations in Novi, Highland, New Hudson, Livonia, and Lansing means we have the perfect Chevy right in your backyard. Get the home team advantage every day at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids, all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today. And prizes than Woodward Sports. You don't believe us? Here's our latest $10,000 winner.
You know, you guys posted, hey, if you guess all this stuff right, you know, we'll give it's $10,000. I'm like, okay, well, why the hell not?
And the winning doesn't stop there. How about our Outkick Your Coverage winner?
I think you won.
This guy's got a hot girl.
Bigger prizes, bigger giveaways, cash, merch, tickets, and more. All from the biggest sports network in Detroit. No one does it bigger and better than Woodward Sports. Make sure you're following, liking, subscribing on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube for your chances to share in the winning. From Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Caesar Sportsbook, the official sportsbook of us here at Woodward Sports. Do yourself a favor, scan that QR code on screen. Use code word Woodward1000. You can deposit up to $1,000, but all you have to do is place a minimum of a $20 bet. If it doesn't hit, they'll throw it right back into your account with no questions asked. Caesar Sportsbook, the best sportsbook around. Use code word Woodward1000 and make some money today.
Make some money. Shout out to JBSmooovv. He's always looking out for the people in that way. And Caesars and Woodward Sports, man. I love our sponsors. Hey, shout out to Planet Fitness and the Planet Fitness Studios. But you know what? We got to jump into making sure that we also give the stage a little bit to you, chat family. We got some submissions from the chat as it relates to their mock drafts as well.
Go up and throw up Ryan's reactions, because he actually just did he just posted round 1 in totality.
Yeah. I was trying to break it down a little bit more. I'm not too sure if you guys can see and read that, but I can read them off if you need to.
I mean, we don't have to go through all of them just for the interest of time, but he's got.
Yeah.
Do we need to go through all of them?
What the?
Yeah, I think we only need to see one.
You said this is who?
This is Ryan's reactions. He's got.
Shout out, man. God
he's got
damn.
the Lions taking Colston Loveland at pick 28.
You got some gumption, bro.
I'm not gonna lie.
Tell me you love Michigan without telling me you love Michigan.
Right. That's fair. I love Colston Loveland with all my heart and soul. I would be very upset if this were the pick.
No, a lot of people would. Like Ryan's reaction. Imagine being Brad Holmes and drafting Colston Loveland. Imagine the press conference that you gotta have after that.
Brad, what the hell?
Like, oh man, you gonna have some questions to answer.
Like, all right, if
you know, this was just my assessment, and this is how we do things. When you run the tape and you put it on, and you see him with pads, he's a football player.
Yeah, the problem is, Brad, you have Sam Laporta still on a rookie deal. Like, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah, I know, but
Yes.
There's no ha, Brad.
It's the bald head. Just look into my head.
Right.
Just stare into the bald head.
Oh my God! And he would, if Colston popped off, he would come to the next press conference.
Just put your dick on the table at
Absolutely.
that point.
But
it's over with, bro.
Maybe John Morton wants to run like a Gronk and Aaron Hernandez type of thing.
Bro, imagine Colston Loveland being the final piece.
Oh my
Imagine us winning the Super Bowl off of Colston
running
Loveland.
a 2 tight end system.
Holy
we
shit.
want a super like a superhuman Brock Wright. That's what this team
Brad
is.
would be the greatest GM of all time, dog. I swear to God. He'd be the greatest GM ever, dog.
And to be fair, in the first round, the only, I think, questionable one is you passed on Nick Scorton. That's where a lot of, like, the Ezraku's gone, Mike Greene's gone, Kenneth Grant's gone, Shamar Stewart and Michael Williams are long gone.
Damn,
Gray
Luka Burton.
Zabel's gone, Tyler Booker's gone.
shit.
So, yeah, that's the thing with picking at pick 28. Sometimes you're at the mercy of the rest of the draft board. But thank you, Ryan's reaction. I hope that this doesn't come true, but part of me would kind of love for it to happen and for it to work because there will never be any Colston Loveland slander from me. But put up Ed O'Neill's.
Right. Ryan, we love you. We ain't going to grade it, though.
Yeah,
we going to leave the grades out of it.
Yeah, one of the chat family members, and he also shows up to events as well, man. Shout
Yeah,
out to
no,
him.
we love Ryan.
Lutz Lee. All right. So, Ed O'Neill. He's got them picking.
My dog, shout out.
Jihad Campbell.
Okay.
And,
So at 28?
I'm not going to go through this whole trade for the interest of time, but he's got them picking at 63, 65, and 95 and goes Jonah Savalanea in guard for Arizona, Braden Swinson, edge for LSU, and then in the stunner, which, if it happens, it makes my last mock draft look bad.
Right, Sam's first round pick.
Omar Norman Lott at 95. Please, God, don't happen. Please.
Talk about value, huh?
And then Malachi Moore at 130 and Pat Bryant at 196. I'll stop there. I like Kyle Monungai. I watch him play at Rutgers a lot. He's good. Fadil Diggs, whatever. But this is interesting.
Bro, to get Jihad Campbell at 28 already makes your draft pretty damn good.
And to get Omar Norman Lott at 95.
Yeah, I think this is a solid draft, bro.
I really like Pat
said this
Bryant
is what,
at
Ed
196.
Yeah, I was gonna say Pat Bryant is nice.
I'm not hip to what's that? Braylon Swinson? Who is that?
Swinson.
Braden Swinson. Anybody hip to him?
I mean, he was pretty good last year for LSU, but if you pick Braden Swinson, I want to trust that Jihad Campbell is going to be closer to Parsons than like Jack Campbell or something.
I'd much rather have Savion, but that's me. But.
Shout out to Ed on
Helping
that,
out
man.
the interior. I'm assuming that you've got you're thinking maybe this Jonah can start next year. Doesn't necessarily have to, but addressing a potential need. Malachi Moore at 130, I think, is a steal. This is a good draft.
Yeah.
This is a good draft. I think it depends on how Jihad Campbell would be used for it to me to go from like a B+ to a solid A, but
I'm telling y'all.
We'll see.
Yeah, I see Eric Allen as well. He says, I love the Jihad Campbell pick. I really hope this happens. I know that's a player, KG, you broke down.
Yep, I had him in my mock
You had him in
draft.
your mock as well.
I traded up for him. Pick 14.
Man, I know that's one that it's created some kind of interesting conversations amongst Lions fans whenever they do talk about Jihad Campbell. Just because of is that the player? Is that the one you go? I know you're very strong on him.
He can be. He absolutely can be that player.
And you know what? Actually, just for the fact of getting Jihad Campbell at 28, it's an A-.
Yeah.
No matter what.
I told you.
It's an A- because I'm not interested in the Lions trading up for Jihad Campbell, but if he's the best option available at 28, do it. do it.
Yeah, because I remember in yours, did you have them trading up effectively for G.I. Campbell?
Yeah,
Because
to pick 14. But that's only because I didn't think he would fall much further than that. So
I don't think he will.
Yeah, like getting him at 28 is like almost lunacy. Like I don't see how that happens. But
now, the people love this draft, man.
Yeah, as they should. But you know what? Also, the people love even more. What's trending?
Hey, let's
that's a
rock.
fact.
Go ahead.
We got to hear from Loom, actually.
Hey, shout out to the people at Loom Cannabis Company. Did you know that they got all the brands that y'all love now for less, with unbeatable prices, a wider selection, and the best loyalty program around? Loom is the premier destination for new and experienced shoppers such as myself. Experience Michigan's #1 recreational dispensary. 38 locations across the state. Y'all see the graphic up there. Use code WSN30 to get 30% off your entire order, and that's online or in store. So that's a pretty good deal. And you can get all that by going to loom.com.
And now it's time for the most electrifying segment on the internet. Bum, bum, bum. It's What's Trending with JB. Live on Wake Up Woodward.
It's Jay Bizzle to the shizzle for.
I tried.
You tried. I gotta give you credit. You tried. Shout out, chat family. I figured we just hop right into it since we're a little limited on time right now. So I gotta give you guys this breaking news because apparently this sold out in stores already. And no, I'm not talking about that stupid LeBron Barbie doll. I'm talking about the KFC toothpaste. Everybody,
Huh?
Wait, the KFC what?
What?
toothpaste.
Okay.
Yes.
And moving on.
Toothpaste. Yes, the KFC has made their own toothpaste and it has sold out
Called His Smile?
in stores. Yes.
No comment.
What? I don't think I'm putting something in my mouth called His Smile.
No.
You get the Colonel smile.
No, I just.
Wait.
I don't want.
And it tastes like fried
I
chicken?
need mintiness. I don't need fried chicken. Like.
Really?
High Smile?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
High smile.
Does that make it better?
Whatever the fuck it is,
Not
no.
really.
Just no.
Just
KFC
no.
not even the best fast food chicken you can get. Why the fuck would I want toothpaste from them? Like, come on, man.
Apparently, people want it. It's sold out in stores now
JB.
as it is. So
JB.
I don't know.
JB, what type of people?
You know what type of people bought this. Come on now. Come on now. Anyway, moving on. How well do you trust your friends or your homeboys? Would you say?
About as far as I can throw them, I guess.
As far as you can throw them. Do you trust them enough while they're doing this? My man is asleep at the wheel.
Oh my God.
Is he asleep?
Yes.
Oh my God.
You gonna crash
In
that
traffic.
fucking Corvette.
I had a friend like that. He had sleep apnea, and it was just like, bro.
No, they're
wake
goofing.
up.
I've done this before. He just got one eye closed, bro, and he's driving like.
Nah, fuck off. Don't do that when I'm in the car.
They're
Please
goofing,
don't do
man.
that
They're
when I'm in the
goofing.
car.
He just got one eye closed. I used to do this with my friend.
Oh God.
Man, fuck that.
That's terrifying.
Me and you would have gotten into a lot of arguments. Don't do that shit when I'm in the car. You can do that with anybody else. When I'm in the car, don't do that.
We'll drive. As soon as it got nighttime, couldn't be trusted behind the wheel.
Yeah, nah,
At all.
G. Don't play with my life like that.
Bad news. Bad news. Since we got the Pistons show tonight, question you guys. NBA free throws. How many of these could you actually make in 30 seconds?
Shit, about 3.
Yeah.
On a good day.
Maybe 3 to 5.
What if you had like $50 on the line for every free throw?
Kool-Aid,
you
like
hit?
I make 100 of them.
Free
Like,
throws?
Free throws, $50 every free throw you hit.
Kool-Aid like 500.
I'm thinking I was a good free throw shooter, man. 30 seconds? I don't know, man. At least I would like to say maybe 10.
Maybe 10.
Maybe more.
Well, you predicted better than this guy.
3, 2, 1, good luck.
Oh God. Oh God.
What the?
Not even hitting the rim.
Nothing.
Come on.
Dude.
3 in a row, my boy. All
Oh,
right, hit the rim.
got the 2K bounce. And the rest air balls. I was about to say.
Wait, bro.
Damn.
Wait. How many free throws did he?
Oh yeah, my man. This
Has he
was
taken
never his
already?
calling.
A 1.
Oh, he got one.
You got 20 seconds.
This is crazy.
At least he made some. I thought he wasn't gonna
All right.
make shit.
Okay.
All right.
You got 13
Respectable.
That's right.
All right.
Was he selling? No.
Oh, airball again. Jesus Christ, this is a lot of airball. It's a lot of airball.
$200. What do you guys think?
Like 25 attempts.
It would have been worse if he didn't make anything. I thought he wasn't gonna make shit.
I was going to say for a second there, I didn't think he just had basic human skills of shooting a shot, but I think he does.
You got to at least hit the rim, man.
KG, you get 25 attempts like he got, man. You hit more than 3.
No, yeah, for sure. It ain't gonna look like that. I'm a brick, but I'm gonna hit the rim.
He had
though,
more
like.
air balls than makes. It's free throws.
Yeah,
This
he would
isn't
have came
half
up
court.
off the air balls.
Yeah, this is rough.
We're going to Vegas off this, man. If they can beat that in 30 seconds.
You should
Goodness gracious.
you should hit the rim 100% of the time. It's like he hits the rim like 30% of the 70% of the time, which is terrible.
Yeah, if this was an airball contest, he would have came up. Big come up. Holy shit.
Oh man, and finally I will end what's trending with this. Another tough guy in training. Just know that the people around you, they don't care about your workout.
Oh, no.
That's a lot of weight.
He has no spotter at all? And this kind of on him.
You're going to break your fucking knees. Look at his knees.
What is about to happen, bro?
Drop? He about to drop that shit.
Oh! No! He bent backwards. No!
Bro, is he dead, bro? No! Hold on. My man just died.
JB, is he okay?
He's fine. I pretty much wanted you to
How you know he's fine, JB?
They got him up. He's fine.
To his whole body like
That man
folding
is
in
dead,
half
bro.
backwards.
He's fucking dead.
They got him up. He's
Oh my God, he's walking.
He's fine.
That's a miracle.
Look
He's
at my man
fine.
on his headphones like, what the frick?
Whoa!
Bro, just go home.
How?
Bro.
But
Just
what
go
I
home,
wanted
dog.
you guys to
Workout
see,
done.
All right, just go home, bro.
what I wanted you guys to see is the lady in the back. So peep her as she's as this actually happens.
Oh my God.
Oh, shit, my nigga. Dog, he
The
fucking
lady in the
folded.
back just looks and doesn't do anything.
He folded.
And it goes right back to her phone.
Damn, you just gonna let him die, huh, lady?
down, dog.
You just gonna let him die. This is why I be going crazy, bro.
Hold
Yeah,
on, run
the
that
chat
back
wonder
one
why I be
time.
on the shit I be on, bro. This is why. You just gonna let the
She
brother
looks
die.
up
You
and
just
puts
gonna
her
let him
head
die.
down, bro.
She
the way my
goes right
grandpa
back
used
to her phone.
You just gonna let him die like that.
I'm telling you, bro, that's my grandparents on the front porch just looking at a car drive by.
Yeah. I mean, to her defense a little bit, like, he shouldn't have lifted that much weight, though. Like, come on, bro.
Just bounced his like,
My
the
man
back
did
of
look
his
like he
head
died.
off of the floor. At least be like, maybe she saw the help on the way and was like, it ain't my problem. That's
Bro,
the only
that
thing I
is-
could think of. But goodness gracious.
That is scary, bro. Like,
Nope, she got up after the help came.
Yeah, see?
No,
right? Don't act concerned, that bitch. You know, you see her, she gonna try to act concerned.
And they're just like, oh, are you okay, sir? Oh, she just goes like, hey, you okay? Now we
Sit your
can.
ass down.
She was like, oh,
Dog,
shoot.
she fake as hell for
He
that.
got a camera over there?
She is
Oh, I
so
better make
fake.
sure I'm
Yeah, right. She fake as fuck.
disgrace.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's crazy.
No, that's
that's
so painful.
crazy.
Why you do that, bro? He's shaking.
Bro, oh my God. This
Once
video,
again,
I just don't even know
tough
what to
guy in
think about this
training.
video.
Yeah, it's a tough guy in training.
Tough guy in training. That's it for what's trending. You
Yeah,
guys.
we done after that.
Oh my gosh.
I don't even know what I just watched.
Get into some mailbag. I gotta tell us all about Feldman. Chevrolet and of Novi, Detroit's #1 Chevrolet dealer and the Chevrolet Dealer of the Year for 6 consecutive years. They got deals of the month. You can get a 2025 Chevy Silverado 1500 Crew for just $199 a month. You can also get a 2025 Chevy Equinox for only $249 a month. Come see George Hawes and his team at Feldman Chevrolet of Novi.
Hey, and it's now time for that Feldman mailbag, and get those Feldman mailbag questions into the chat. I see a couple of them entering, and tomorrow we will talk. Tonight we're gonna talk some Pistons. Tomorrow we will too. They started practice, and they had some cool things to say. We're gonna get over there today and digest some of those videos tomorrow. But hashtag Feldman mailbag, BigCon51. How would you feel about bringing Z back and Jack Sawyer on day 2 and no other edge players as well? How do you feel about Shiloh Sanders on day 3? I don't know how I feel about that one, because you're telling me they don't do anything else in the trenches in the draft effectively.
I mean, he says Zadarius and Jack Sawyer.
And Jack Sawyer, and then no other. Let me make sure I get the nuance right. He said no other defensive line or no other edge. No other
I
edge
mean,
player.
you could do worse, but I'm just not a fan of Jack Sawyer like that. But Zadarius and Jack Sawyer, I mean, that's solid.
And
Like,
that's
I
for the
can't.
defensive line additions.
It's solid. That's all I can say. It's okay.
I'd take it.
Yeah,
Give
like
me
it
Z
ain't
or
the
give
worst.
me death.
It ain't the worst.
That's right. Hey, Feldman Mailbag, John F. and Laura. Will JB and KG go to see D-Mac's new wrestling academy and get some content for Woodward ringside?
Funny story about that. We were just talking to him about that yesterday. We would have tried to do something this week, but it probably won't happen. A lot going on with the Pistons and WrestleMania being this weekend, but definitely that's on the way. We've already been in talks with D-Mac. We gonna do something. We just trying to figure out what.
I can't wait to get in the ring and take a bump.
Yeah, that's what I'm
fun,
trying
man.
to do. I'm trying to go in there and actually wrestle a match. Like, what's up with it?
From the top
Who want to
rope.
challenge me, man?
And let me see here. And make sure you guys stay tapped in with Woodward ringside as well. Ed O'Neill, hashtag Feldman Mailbag. Let's hear a hot take you have about any sport. Hot take? Is it a hot take to say that the Pistons are going to beat the Knicks in the playoffs?
Yeah, 3-6. I like nationally. I know that we're in Detroit sports, but yeah, that's a hot take.
Hey.
I mean, look at the odds. Yeah, for sure.
There's mine. Give me a Riley Green one. Give me a Riley Green hot take. Look into that camera, Flannel Sam.
Did he already say?
No, I can't.
Grand Slam. Next game.
Have we seen
All right,
ever this
all right,
conflicted?
all right. I'll give a Riley Green hot take. For the month of May, he will have an 1,000 OPS or higher.
Let's rock. Hey, I need hot takes from everybody. What up, though, KG? What's your hot take?
I can't think of any right now. I don't think it's a hot take to say the Pistons beat the Knicks. Is it a hot take to say they could win a second round series?
Yes, absolutely, it's a hot take because they be playing the Celtics. Yes, it's a hot take.
I've been thinking about it, though.
You talking about I've been thinking about it, though? Yeah, I don't think they beating the Celtics, man.
What up, though, Kavasier Chess? You got a hot take for us, man?
For just what?
Any sport.
Any sport?
Yes, sir.
Nah, I have to think of something. Not off the top of my head.
Ed, I feel like I need like an hour
Ed
to prepare.
O'Neill.
Like the
Yeah. JBSmooovv, do you got anything before we close up? Any hot takes from you?
Hot take, given the draft is next week, Brad picks twice in the first round.
Whoa.
There's a trade.
Shit.
Ooh.
Oh.
Holy shit.
Ooh, I like that. And JB said that with he ain't even cracked no smile, man. He just got that I'm here for business.
That's what it is.
That, man. Is this been a show?
Yeah.
I think so.
And it's a lot going on today at the network. Stay tapped in with all the shows, including we got the playoff preview show tonight. I can't wait for that. We're going to have the crew in the building, Platty in the building, and a lot of other people showing up, including T-Foss, the legend, to be able to break down not just the opening series for the Pistons, but talk about what's gone down already in the NBA playoffs with a look ahead at how this thing is starting to shape up. But thank you guys for being here, for all the super chats. Do we have anything to clean up, JB?
We did a little bit earlier. Shout out to everyone once again sending in super chats. This is a little bit earlier from Dante151. We were talking about Tigers. Tigers will win the series, and Greene will hit 2 home runs. Torque will hit 3 home runs, and Baez will finally hit a home run.
So he knew the hot take question was on the way then when he sent that.
Yeah.
Please let that happen.
I'll take that one, man. I'll take that one. And that's it for the super chats?
We got Ed O'Neill sent in 199 as well too. Moneyball DL with rookies to offset expensive O, and also Dante151 199 as well too. Or you can trade for Kayvon and sign Zadarius Smith.
Nah, I just don't see it happening, but you could in theory.
You certainly could.
You could.
See now,
Those are things that Funnel likes to think about.
I do like to think about it.
Let's get that touch pass going, man. Hey, touch pass on the go. I like that one, man. It's been Wake Up Woodward Chat family. Thank you guys for being here and everybody for hitting that like button. If you didn't get the opportunity to, go on ahead and smash that like button. We're close to our goal. Maybe we get there before the close of the show. But shout out to our brother Matthew Broder and that dude Justin for everything that you do to support the network and Wake Up Woodward. That content for Western Michigan winning the college NCAA hockey championship is still just growing and growing and growing. So shout out to him, man. But Kavasier Chase is in the building. What up, though, my brother?
Hey, what's up, guys? Hope you guys have a good rest of your week. We're coming up on the weekend. It's Friday Junior today, so hopefully, have a good one tomorrow. Fun weekend ahead for us, and it's holiday weekend too. So, should be a good Friday tomorrow for sure. So, now that I think about it. But anyways, check out Fast and Loose with JBSmooovv and myself, Chase Elliott Amley. He's fast, I'm loose, and then drop the link in the chat if you guys want to tap in between Wake Up Woodward and Big D Energy. Say our episode from the other day. So hope you guys have a good one.
Hey, Randall Small says, great show, guys. Be that person today. Hey, just Elite Booth. We got Detroit's number 1 draft pick, KG. What up, though, man? Rookie of the Year, MVP, and just overall great person, man. What up?
Hey, appreciate that. Y'all know what it is, man. Shout out to everybody that joined us today. Make sure y'all tapping in for that Pistons preview show tonight. I'm mad I can't be with my guys, but I'm definitely going to be checking y'all out. We are providing the best Pistons coverage in the city, period, bro. And I'm not joking when I say that. This is real shit. Tap in tonight. It's going to be good. It's going to be good.
You got to argue. Bro, Neil literally calls games for the Pistons.
Exactly. It's going to be fire.
We're doing the thing.
Let's enjoy this.
We got the knowledge. We got the passion. We got the hype. Man.
Be on the lookout for Woodward Ringside, too. We are recording our WrestleMania episode. It's going to be a big episode, so make sure y'all stay tuned for that.
Southwest Hole Rider. What a name.
What?
He says, don't suck a pipe, hit that like. Hit the like button.
Or suck a pipe and hit the like.
I mean,
whatever your preference.
You do you.
Right. I ain't going to stop you if you want to hit the pipe.
I ain't going to stop you.
Shout out WUW Sports MVP, JBSmooovv.
Your business.
What up, though?
That's your business. You do you, boo-boo. But, I mean, shout out to the chat family for tapping in with us once again. Go check out Fast and Loose. Me and my man Chase over here talking NASCAR. They're off this Sunday. Obviously, it's Easter, so everyone enjoy that as well, too. But then right back at it next week for Talladega. Me and KG will be recording tonight for Woodward Ringside, so hopefully have that up for you for Friday. Also clipping that up as well, too, so you guys get to check it out all weekend. Yep. Big weekend coming up, and tap into the Pistons preview show tonight.
7:30. I see somebody asked, what time is the show tonight? It will be 7:30 p.m., and we're going to have a packed house. We're going to have a crew. But we're also going to have other people in the building. If you've seen some of our previous Piston shows and such, hey, we like to roll with the crew. And we will have a brief return of our Table Talk segment as well. So I can't wait for that, man. The Vet of the Squad, Vet of the Network will definitely be running with the crew tonight. All sports knower, Red Wings correspondent, Pistons lover, man. That is Flannel Sam.
You know what? I think I figured out, and I know it's not super extreme, but here's what I'm going to do for Riley Greene. I'm going to be very realistic, but it could also hurt me. I will not shave or get a haircut until Riley Greene hits another home run. Obviously, I'd be more than okay with him just getting a couple of singles and a double or something during this series, but I'll leave it to a home run. So if some of your guys' fever dream comes true and he gets sent to the minors and keeps struggling, I will be a very haggard man.
Boy, Phil gonna be pissed off. Why is it Sam getting a haircut?
You know what? Just like that, because you know you're throwing a loud pass to the chat right now.
Yes.
Riley Greene, save your guy. Save your guy.
I'm not looking bad yet, but give it a couple weeks. But it won't be a couple weeks. It will be this series.
Phil gonna be on your ass in the chat, man.
Well, Phil can
man. No, this
go
be dope.
somewhere.
This is going to be dope.
Ooh, I know. Big, terrible insult there, but I'm trying to lay off. Low T Phil.
Low T Phil. Oh, my gosh. It's your boy, Brandon, a.k.a. Detroit Kool-Aid, your credential Pistons reporter, writer for the network, man. The vibes have been immaculate down at Pistons practice. And I really do believe that this team has the opportunity to go into New York and win a game. Show up big. And you know what? Real quick, everybody said this about those Pistons. They're not the NBA TV series. They're on TNT.
Yeah.
Shout out to those Pistons. They pay us to play the Knicks. Hey, have a blessed day, everybody. It's been Wake Up Woodward. If you haven't gotten the opportunity to, smash that like button on the way out. But most importantly, have a blessed one, guys.